Welcome to the Top Elf Games. We look out over a snowy North Pole and Santa's workshop. Large flakes of snow gently drift down from above as the sky grows darker, nighttime approaching. The glow of lights warms the edge of the workshop as we zoom across the cozy little village into the stadium packed full of elves. Welcome to Festive Field! The ground inside the stadium is filled with a maze of decorated trees, their lights filling the whole area with blinking racing colors. Bleachers on each side of the stadium are packed full of rosy-cheeked elf spectators, and high above the lights, near the top, is the special guest box where Santa and Mrs. Claus sit watching the games unfold. Rowdy Yule lads and rambunctious elf hooligans jostle and cheer along the sidelines as they wait for the games to start. Mugs of hot cocoa are raised, and many cookies are being eaten as the fans cheer and shout in excitement.
Welcome to the Top Elf Games, one and all. I am your host and MC, Bling Kringleson, joined by my partner and co-MC, Cranberry Eversong. The contestants have taken the field, and the crowd is very merry indeed.
That's right, Bling. This Top Elf Games is shaping up to be a wonderland of excitement.
Right you are, Cranberry. Let's remember, for any elf watching at home, some of the guidelines for the Top Elf Games. Number 1 is to have fun. We at the North Pole have a lot of work to do all year long, but having fun comes first.
Number 2, don't leave any trace or evidence and stay hidden. When we go out with Santa, it's important that we leave no signs we were there. Preserve that Christmas magic. Stay hidden.
Number 3, remember your training. Elves are highly trained and have all sorts of interesting skills and abilities to fall back on. Use those.
And lastly, number 4, use your imagination. As elves, we can solve any problem if we put our minds to it. Using your imagination to solve problems is the elf way.
Each of the contestants have lined up inside Festive Field. You can hear the chanting, yelling crowd calling their names, cheering them on. Ahead is a forest of twinkling Christmas trees, a merry maze. Swirls of magical snow drift and rush over the trees, blurring the distance and catching the rainbow of lights. A Christmas cracker cannon is being cranked into place, preparing to herald the opening of the games. A hush falls over the crowd, and with that, confetti and gumdrops explode out of the cannon, showering the stadium and the crowd as the top elf contestants all race forward and are immediately enveloped by a whirl of snow. They have entered the maze.
Bling Kringleson here, your MC. Peppermint, can you tell us how you're feeling as you enter the maze? What's on your mind?
I'm excited. This is my first time being in the games, and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna make it to the end. I'm gonna beat the competition and go with Santa this year.
Okay, so the sound of the crowd fades as the magic of the maze takes you deeper into the brightly lit trees. You smell fresh pine cones and cinnamon. Mounds of snow highlighted by the merry decorations drift across the path you walk upon. You move through freshly fallen snow, the sound of your footfalls crunching in a very satisfying way. Trees tower on both sides of you, and their lights fill the area in shades of blue, then red, white, then gold. Up ahead, you see an opening in the maze. A fog and snow-swirled clearing. As you approach, you hear the sound of jingle bells, and the snow swirls up into your eyes.
It looks like the contestants have reached the first challenge, the stocking stuffer. Here, they must prep 3 stockings with candy canes as quickly as possible.
While maintaining their elf training, of course.
You find yourself standing in the dark corner of a living room on Christmas Eve. A tall tree, fully decorated with lights, covers one corner of the room. Under the tree, a toy train on a track chugs noisily along. Couches and chairs are arranged around a wide end table in the center of the room, and they all face a huge fireplace made of stone. At the base of the fireplace stands a gnome decoration in a pointy hat holding a drum. A wooden mantle rests above the fireplace, covered in jingle bell garland, family pictures, and knickknacks. And 3 long red and white striped stockings dangle down, ready to be filled. On the far end of the room is a tall picture window where you can see snow slowly drifting down and the dim lights of a town just outside the house. Santa will be here soon, and you're tasked with prepping the stockings. Remember your training and hurry along, there is much to do. So, Peppermint, how would you approach this situation?
First thing I do is scan the room and make sure that nobody's up, that everybody's sleeping. Look in every crevice. Is there a dog, a cat, an animal I don't see? And based on assuming that I don't, I'm looking for something. I'm looking for 2 things: the distance between me and the drum gnome, or I want to see if I can sneak across, if there's any traps or anything gonna trip me up, or if I see anything elastic, like a rubber band, a decent sized rubber band or something. And then I also want to try and gauge the stockings and figure out how many candy canes I'm going to need to get in each one to fill them up.
Sounds like a good plan. I can tell you in reverse order first that you'll only need 1 stocking or 1 candy cane in each stocking. There's 3 stockings. To scan the room and kind of get the general vibe of things, which is definitely part of your elf training, can you give me a wit roll?
13.
A 13. Now a 13, anything above a 10 is amazing. So you got a 13. You take a moment hiding in the shadows. You scan the room. There are no dogs. It sounds like, based on the way the house is settled and the general quiet, that everybody is asleep, sound in their beds. However, your keen eyes do spot that the gnome at the base of the fireplace is one of those motion-activated toys. And if you were to move in front of it, that it would probably go off and alert the household. So that's definitely going to be a challenge for you. Now you could sneak over to it, that's not a problem. As far as the distance goes, it's across the room, and you're a small elf, but you can move pretty quickly. Elastic that you were looking for, there might be some in the cover on the back of the chairs. They have a slip cover over top of them, so you might be able to find some of that there.
Okay, so I'm going to make my way over to one of the chairs, and I'm going to look for a bit of elastic that I'm going to take out of the chair and test its springiness, and then I'm going to improvise, and I'm going to shoot candy canes from where I'm at into the stockings.
Okay, so you're not getting close enough to the gnome to set it off.
Nope.
Okay, and you're going to shoot them from the back of the chair. Okay, so go ahead and give me an improvise check as you thread some of the elastic out of the back of the chair. And you can use whatever skill you'd prefer.
That's only a 5.
Okay, so as you load the candy canes into the elastic slingshot that you've created, you begin launching them, but the first one, it actually hits one of the stockings and knocks it down off of the mantle.
Ooh, he can't be happy with that result.
Drats! On to plan B. So I'm going to sneak across, tiptoe over behind, making sure not to break the line of vision of the drummer gnome, and then we're going to disable the drummer gnome.
Okay, can you give me since you know where it is, I'm going to only have you make 1 check, not multiple checks for this. You can easily avoid its eye line without having to make a tiptoe check, and now disabling it's going to be a disable trap skill. So you get up behind the gnome and you can go ahead and make a disable trap.
As I start to go through my bag looking for something, I said, I have a tool for this, and I find a special pair of clippers that I had made that are made out of actual candy canes, because I like to eat my tools if I can. I figure, candy canes, Christmas season, and these are sharp candy canes, and I'm going to use them to help disable this trap.
Okay.
I got a 12.
Okay, so with a 12, you manage to, you know that you don't want to leave any traces that you were here, so you actually just take the batteries out, flip them around, and stick them back in. You had to clip a couple wires in order to get it open because it was still tied shut from the store. But you just flip the batteries around and put them back in, and whoever checks this later on, mom or dad, can assume that, oh, I must have put the batteries in wrong. So the trap's disabled now. You've got 1 candy cane stock, you got 1 stocking on the floor and 2 hanging on the mantle.
So I have some tape, so I can tape back up the one that fell on the floor. So I do that first. And then, is there a fire in the fireplace? I assume.
So in order to tape it back up, you'll have to get up to the top of the mantle. So you grab the stocking, and you'll need to get up to the top.
So I grab the stocking then, and I take a candy cane and my tinsel rope, and I make a makeshift grapple to throw up to the mantle. I whirl it around, give a little yee-haw under my breath, and I rolled an 11.
And with that, the candy cane whistles up to the top of the mantle, hooks on the edge, you climb hand over hand up, and not a problem, you tape the stocking back, and now that you're at the top of the mantle, 1, 2, 3, you can drop the candy canes in.
So after I drop the candy canes in the stocking, I look around, making sure that everything looks in place, like there's nothing out of place. I know I need to get my grapple and my tinsel rope, and just retrieve those and pick those up, but I just want to make sure that I've left no trail that I was here.
Perfect. So you take a quick second, shove everything back in your pack, and with that, as the last candy cane falls into the stocking and you've got everything back in your pack, the room swirls with snow and the sound of jingle bells. You feel a cool, crisp wind at your back, and when your vision clears, you find yourself standing in an entirely new place. A child's bedroom, with your back pressed up against the cold glass of the window on Christmas Eve as the snow drifts down beyond. Inside the room, you spot the problem right away. The child is not nestled all snug in their bed. In fact, they're across the room and peeking out the door.
Holy gumdrops! She's not supposed to be over there.
You see a dimly lit room of a young girl no more than 5 or 6 years of age. You stand upon a frosty windowsill above a stuffed toy box. Nearby, you see the girl's bed, covers tossed away as she snuck out and across her room, peeking out her door for a glimpse of Santa. You see her dresser, a closet, glow-in-the-dark star stickers on the ceiling, and on the floor there are toys and books and models, a basketball, a jump rope, a book about dragons, a tiara, a plastic sword, a butterfly puppet, and a bin of plastic building blocks. Your task is to get the child back to sleep. In her bed would be best. Remember, you cannot be seen and she cannot see Santa Claus. There. So Peppermint, how would you approach this situation?
Well, this one's a tough one. I mean, I could use the sleeping pods, sneak up, use the sleeping pods, but I want to try and get her back in bed. Like I said, I like to do things the right way, and there's no guarantee that she'll get back in bed unless I can get her there. It might be tougher, but Peppermint's up for the challenge. So I am going to first sneak over to the bed. Kind of crouch underneath the far corner.
Okay, go ahead and give me a tiptoe check. So this is getting down off the sill, navigating past the toy box.
And as I'm climbing down, I reach into my pouch. I remember, oh yeah, I made those sneaky slippers some time ago, and they have bells on them, but because it's Christmas and I'm an elf, but I made sure to like pad the bells. 11.
So off the bed, your sneaky shoes go on. You hop off the windowsill, navigate past the toy box, and over to the corner of the bed. You're hiding under the bed in the shadows now. So if she did turn around, she wouldn't see you. So perfect on that. Now what would you do?
I want to look around the room and see if I see any animal hair, cat hair, dog hair. Do they have a pet?
There's a picture on her desk, on her little writing desk, that shows her and a large German Shepherd.
Ooh, large German Shepherd. Well, that makes things more difficult, but okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a sleeping pod. And I'm going to take the sleeping pod. I'm actually going to pull out a couple.
Okay.
Pepper a couple up on her bed.
Okay. So if she gets near the bed, maybe she'll set them off.
And then I'm going to make a barking noise.
Sounds good. That sounds like an improvise ability. And you can use whatever skill you think you'd use for that.
To improvise, I'm going to use my wit to get as close to a dog sound as I can. Maybe even a German Shepherd. Maybe she didn't realize the dog was over here in the corner.
Okay, sounds good. And you're looking to try to attract her attention to make her come investigate, it sounds like.
Yeah, but I want her to come over the bed, hopefully. And I know that's asking a lot, but it's a kid. I'm hoping she's going to be like her dog and run and jump on the bed, be all excited, and...
Let's see how that goes. So.
10.
A 10 is a success. So you managed to throw your voice as a dog, which is impressive because there's not traditionally a lot of German Shepherds in the North Pole. But you bounce your voice off the back wall behind her bed. You see the girl turn and start moving over towards the bed. She's not seeing you because you're hidden well underneath the bed. And as she climbs into bed, I'm going to say that I need one check just to make sure that the pods get set off. So that can be any kind of check you'd like.
Voice luck.
Okay.
8.
An 8. An 8 is a success with a complication. So you managed to throw one of your extra sleeping pods. You've got a whole bunch in your pack. As she gets in, you can see the one that you had angled over near the corner of the bed. You throw it, creates a chain reaction, and she immediately falls asleep on her bed. However, because of the little bit of a stumble, you had to kind of angle yourself out. You stumbled a little bit and did end up falling against a one of those plastic building blocks that nobody wants to step on. So I'm going to have you mark 1 tired.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
As the little girl drifts off to sleep, and you can picture the sugar plums dancing in her dreams, you hear the jangle of jingle bells, and a swirl of snow races across the room. When you blink past the rush of wind, you find yourself atop a parking garage, outdoors. Santa's sleigh is next to you with his 8 reindeer. You know the big man is inside the building next door. A flash of moonlight on something shining on the ground catches your eye, and you realize the main control ring of the reindeer harness is broken. Good thing you spotted it, but you need to find a replacement or repair it, and fast. So you see around you a wide concrete parking garage that stretches away into the dark. Soft snow dusts every surface, and you see a few cars parked a short ways away. A ramp descends down into the lower levels of the garage to one side, and the darkened city skyline stretches out on all sides. You know Santa is visiting the apartment building next to the garage, but will return soon. You must find a way to repair or replace that ring on the reindeer harness. Remember, if you're going to take something that might be missed, you should replace it with the broken ring, leave no trace. Peppermint, how would you handle this particular challenge?
He cracks his knuckles. Yeah, I got this one. This is right up my alley. As a matter of fact, I have a tool for this. And I reach into my pouch and I pull out I have multiple tools for this. A little hammer and some pliers and stuff like that. And I go get the ring and I look at it to try and see what I need to do to repair it and how complicated it'd be with all my tools that I already have.
Sounds good. So you're going to use your toolbox on this to try to repair the ring.
10, 11.
11.
This particular challenge seems designed especially for Peppermint's skills. Let's see how he does.
You grab the ring, and within a few minutes, you've hammered it back into place and secured it to the sleigh. That challenge for you, not a problem. With a snap and a glimmer of magic, the ring reattaches to the harness. Santa's sleigh is repaired. You stand up and dust yourself off. A job well done, but then freeze as you notice something missing. The sound of jingle bells seems to hang in the air as the snow swirls. Taking a few steps back, you start to count and name the reindeer. 1, Dasher. 2, Dancer. 3, Prancer. 4, Vixen. 5, Comet. 6, Cupid. 7, Donner. 7 reindeer? You realize a reindeer is missing. Blitzen must have slipped off the harness while you were repairing the sleigh. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the rapidly descending form of Blitzen flying through the night air without his harness. You rush to the edge of the parking garage and look down, losing sight of the reindeer as it lands in a nearby park and runs off into the trees. You need to act fast, get down to that park and catch up to Blitzen. Somehow you need to get the reindeer back to the sleigh. The park stretches out into the dark, covered in snow. You can see a fountain in the center with a stone bear, frozen over with ice, a playground, an ice skating rink, trails to walk on, and benches to sit upon.
Okay, so Peppermint's going back to his trusty candy cane, grapple, and tinsel rope. I'm going to quickly make a grappling hook, and I'm going to swing it over my head as fast as I can, and I'm going to launch it to try and make a zip line.
Yeah, that sounds like an improvise. Give me an improvise check.
9.
9 is good for you because it's improvised. There's no complications. So, quick as a whistle, you throw the candy cane down with the tinsel rope attached to it, grab another candy cane, and zip down the line, landing in the park just like that. Now that you're in the park, Large trees stretch up around you. You can hear the ice slightly tinkle and crack in the fountain. How would you go about finding Blitzen?
To go quick, I'm going to reach in my gadget pouch and search through my inventions and find my floaty snowshoes.
Okay.
And I strap them to my feet, and they'll help me hover on the snow and stay light to run across the snow at a faster pace.
So that'll help you move a lot faster, and this is one of your gadget pouch. Okay. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
6.
A 6. Okay, so 6 is not quite enough to do what you were looking to do. So I'm going to say that it does mark off the spot on your gadget pouch. In fact, I'm going to say it marks off an extra slot on your gadget pouch. As you were pulling things out, you didn't notice, but one of your gadgets fell out and got lost in the snow. You start to run, but it's been a while since you've maintained those floaty snowshoes, and it looks like some of the air is leaked out of them, and you're sinking into the snow. So it looks like that's not going to be the way that you're going to find Blitzen. Is there a different way that you can think of to find Blitzen?
Do I see any people, though?
No, it's late at night on Christmas Eve, and everybody's home snug in their beds.
Easy then. So since I can't get across the snow, we're gonna hopefully make Blitzen come to me.
Okay.
I reach into my pouch and start pulling out handfuls of oats and just throwing them onto the snow. And as I do, Blitzen!
Okay. So you're trying to call Blitzen. Now, this is going to be, I'm going to say that we're going to do an improvised check, because you're using the oats to try to attract Blitzen. Go ahead and give me an improvised check.
7.
So a 7 is a success on the improvise, and because you're a peddler, no complications with it. Blitzen comes bounding out of the trees, munching on the oats as quickly as possible, and without any hesitation, you've been around reindeer a lot as one of the top elf candidates. You grab his reins, and with that, you have control of Blitzen again.
And Blitzen can fly, I assume. So I climb up the reins onto his back, and try and guide him back up this way.
As you secure Blitzen's harness and all 8 reindeer prance in pace and excitement, you hear a kindly chuckle behind you and the sound of jingle bells. A swirl of snow blows by as you turn and see Santa standing there with a wide smile.
Well, I hope the reindeer didn't give you too much trouble. You're doing a great job, and we're all finished for the night. Why, every child on Earth has been given a gift from the North Pole. I really couldn't do this without you elves. Say, since it's been such a long night, why don't you pilot the sleigh? I'll take a nap in the back. But do try to get us back to the North Pole as fast as you can, and keep the sleigh in one piece, all right? Ho, ho, ho!
And you find yourself flying in the night, high over the darkened earth. On your right, the sky is growing light. The sun is coming up on Christmas morning, and you have to hurry back to the North Pole. Looking left and right, you see your fellow competitors, and know that this part of the competition will be a straight-up race.
Thanks for listening to Episode 1 of the Top Elf Games. Join us next week to find out how the next competitor does. Happy holidays, everyone.